Hey everybody, let's get ready and talk some Night Gallery.
Is it just me? Or is it getting crazier out there?
Hey everybody, welcome to Late Late Horror Show. I am Dino. As always, we are going to talk some Night Gallery. 1970. Man, what a year. What a feel this was. But let me say hello to everybody in the chat. Connie Clary, John Swan, what's going on? Good to see you. Edward Stewart, Adam for Christ, JLR, Emily Thompson. What is going on? Good to see each and every one of you. Chaz Mina, what's going on? Good to see you. Welcome. CM, good evening, everyone. Yeah, going to talk. Vicky Array, what's up, y'all? Yeah, I like the emoji. What's going on there? Yeah, listen, Night Gallery. This is episode 2. Even better than the first episode, right? I mean, in my opinion, but season 1, episode 2, this is Room with a View, The Little Black Bag, and the Nature of the Enemy. It's an anthology, Night Gallery, but it's bookend by 2 very short and different episodes, and with episodes within the episode, whatever. And then right in the middle, The Little Black Bag. So darn good. Burgess Meredith. Oh my God, I can't wait to talk about it. But all 3, excellent. I mean, this is good. This is good. Even more so than the first episode, I think. Let's see. SSW Custom Sewing. What's going on? Good evening, everyone. Good to see each and every one of you guys and gals. But yeah, this episode aired 1970. It's a long time ago, right? Euler Greg. What's going on, Euler Greg? Roland's Reviews. What's going on? Good to see you. Yeah, I mean, right off the bat, I'm going to just say this is an 8 out of 10. Right off the bat, 8 out of 10. Maybe a 9 out of 10. Maybe a 9 out of 10. What can I say? Make sure you guys hit that thumbs up button. Check out in the description below all the links, all that good stuff. Think about joining the channel, all that good stuff. Overnight tonight, detective stream. So that'll be fun for everybody. I am feeling stronger. Edward, thanks. Good to hear CM. Graham Seidel, what's going on, Graham? Good to see you. Yeah, and I got some paranormal shows coming up. I should have that pulled up, really. Let's see. Because one of them it's a very good show. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to both of them. Edie Kaito or Bill Heimer is coming back to talk Bigfoot. She had a campground where she was interacting with a Bigfoot family, a gifting site. It took years for her to even see anything, but the activity that was there. The other guest is Katie Page. She's a ufologist with MUFON. She's been on the Travel Channel, Coast to Coast AM overnight. Good show, I'm sure, coming up with that. And me and Dave tomorrow are going to talk about Kolchak, the next episode, Bad Medicine. So there you go. That kind of rounds all of that out, getting that out of the way. But yeah, good stuff coming up, that's for sure. Doreen Doe, we listen every evening. Good to hear, Doreen. Thank you. Doreen Doe. Nice name. Good to see ya. So yeah, it's good to stop by. I love this channel. It reminds me of AM radio in the 90s. Oh, thank you. Custom Sewing. So let's get into it. Let me just start talking about this episode. Who knows how long it'll go. It's about 50 minutes in length. So it's overall not a long 2-hour made for movie TV or anything like that. And again, bookend with the first one, which is Room with a View. and then ends with the nature of the enemy, kind of a space, kind of, oh God, wait till I talk about that. That tripped me out the way the last one ended, the nature of the enemy. But let's start talking about Room with a View. Room with a View. It's about a guy, it's about love, betrayal, infidelity, jealousy. I mean, you can throw it all in there. But it's basically a guy, Jacob Bauman. He's married to Leela Bauman, who is a woman who is way younger than he is. But we start off in the bedroom, thus Room with a View. There's Jacob Bauman laying in bed. He's sick. They don't say what he's sick of, but he's sick with something, taking a pill, And the nurse is Diane Keaton. I know Diane Keaton. It's so funny seeing her here as a young actress. I've seen her as a young actress in other things, mostly Woody Allen. Love interest back in the day, good friends, and they, she in this episode, Diane Keaton plays Nurse Frances, and she comes to take care of Jacob Bauman. And the interaction is very funny because it's mostly them two. It's a very short. Is it even 10 minutes? I don't even think it's a 10-minute segment, but it is a short segment. I'm trying to look at the chat too as we go along here. Yeah, say hi to Penny too, Edward Stewart. It's great to love the channel. We appreciate you. Thank you. Yep, I'm jealous. Francis McCloskey, what is going on? Good to see you. Appreciate this awesome channel. Listen, all the love in the channel. Thank you guys. Much appreciated. Really, really do appreciate it. Let's see. Just checking out a couple of things there. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Anyways, Diane Keaton plays a young nurse, Frances, who is taking care of Jacob Bauman. And his wife, again, she's very beautiful. There's also a chauffeur out the window, which he can view. He's got binoculars so that he can see out his window. A la Rear Window, but not really. I mean, this is totally different. But he can see what his chauffeur, Vic, who, again, man, the 70s were a different time where hair on a man, a hairy man all over his back and chest, shoulders and arms and palms, and going back to the caveman days, women loved that. I don't know, it was something about that. I don't know, give off that, what is it, a scent of something, or that allure of that animal instinct. But there is a chauffeur down there named Vic. And it's funny how in this first episode, the guy's sick, he's in bed, and he's seeing everything that's going on. And he starts what I thought was really, really cool. Hey, E-Groove's Old School Music. What's going on? Good to see you. Good to know you. Feel better, Doe. Yes, definitely. Sleeper. Yes, John Swan. Sexy Cabbage Dino. Oh, yeah. It's funny how Jacob Bauman in bed, he's got a plan. He's trying to set in motion, and he starts to talk to Diane Keaton's character, Nurse Frances, and and again, her acting in this was to see her in one of her first early roles, even though she did stuff in the late 60s, was just kind of, she wasn't as great of an actress there. I mean, she's a good actress, but she was just playing a naive, younger nurse. And Jacob Bauman asked her, what did I put down here about her? He asked about her lover. He says, tell me a little bit about your lover. And then they got into discussion about, there's a difference. She goes, there's a difference between a lover and a husband, because I think at first he goes, are you looking for a husband or a lover? Tell me about him. All knowing, he knows because he's got the binoculars looking out the window, and he knows she's got something going on with the chauffeur, Vic. That shirt is off. He's down there scrubbing the car because he's his driver, I guess, before he got sick and still remains. Hey, WTF, what's going on? I love this episode of Night Gallery TV Sci-Fi. Yep. The first or the second one kind of, and the third one definitely space sci-fi. Definitely sci-fi going on in the second one too, but a little different twist on things in that second one. I love it. Love everything about this episode, the 3 stories. And Rod Serling, man, I mean, come on. I mean, this dude can write his butt off. So they start talking, and she's giggling, kind of. There's a difference between a lover, and he goes, "Well, I don't know, because people 50 years ago had different ideas and stuff." But to get down to kind of like brass tacks, Leela comes in too, and he wanted to get rid of his water. It was stale water. He goes, "Yeah, that's going to get me sick and kill me." But he's already in bed sick. And the woman, when his wife comes in, she goes, "Did you take your blue pill?" I'm like going, "Wait a second. What are they talking about? Did you take your blue pill? Did you? But anyways, let's see. Keaton made her debut only 1 month earlier in The Love Boat. 2 years later, he was in The Godfather. She was in The Godfather. Yes, Edward Stewart. Thank you very much. So there you go. Yeah. And she very good acting in The Godfather. Diane Keaton, definitely. Only 2 years later from this, 1972. So yes, very, very good. So they're talking and they're going back and forth, and then Leela says the blue pill, and you know that there's something going on. There's something going on. And as she leaves the room, she goes down and outside. And the whole time, Nurse Frances, Diane Keaton, is sitting there against the window with her back turned towards the window, talking to Jacob Bauman about stuff, because he keeps saying, entertain a sick man, entertain an old man. And he didn't even look that old, really. I don't know what he was sick with, but entertain a man that's sick. I got nothing to do. It was so funny how he was putting this plan together. But she's got her back towards the window, and he picks up his binoculars as she's talking to him, and she's looking out the window watching what's going on down there, because his wife just left, Lila, Lila. Boy, yes, very beautiful. Diane Keaton sitting there. Lila was at least, a few more inches taller than her. But yeah, who is that again? Let me get the actress's name. Angel Tompkins was her name. I'm trying to see what she played in. The Teacher, 1974. Walking Tall, Part 2. Simon & Simon, a lot of TV stuff. Growing Pains, 1990. She was in Growing Pains. A Hitchhiker, T.J. Hooker. Listen, all TV stuff. That's what I love about this. We've talked about this with Dave. All these people from other TV shows. It's just, it's fun. It's fun. Lots of good memories. Angel Tompkins, born Angeline Bernice Stromberg, December 20th, 1942. Thank you, Edward Stewart. And by the way, yeah, you're doing. Wait, what's this? Did you find Midnight? Oh, you guys might be talking to each other. Keaton made her. Okay, she's 81 now, Edward Stewart. There you go. 81 now, still going strong. Edward Stewart's pulling what I do, the shorts. I hope I'm stacking up every actress from the silent era through the 30s and the 40s. I'm getting them all. Ones you've never heard of before, probably, but made a name for themselves back in the 20s and 30s. So I hope you're enjoying that. By the looks of things, a lot of people are enjoying those shorts. Anyways, getting back to it. He pulls the binoculars out, and I would think immediately Diane Keaton's character would go, "Wait, what are you bringing binoculars out for? What are you looking at, Mr. Bauman?" She calls him Mr. B. Mr. B. Mr. B. It's funny because I had a teacher called Mr. B, Mr. Bernettage, back when I was in fourth grade. We all called him Mr. B. Hey, Mr. B, let's go outside. Recess time. Let's play some. But you think she would say, "What are you doing? What do you look?" Got binoculars pointed almost at her because she's by the window. What are you looking at there, Mr. B? Come on, take your eyes off of me. But yeah, no, he's looking and he sees his wife go up to the chauffeur, Vic, the hairy ape man, Vic. Sorry. Listen, my grandfather was 100% Sicilian, and he was hairy. When he got older, it was white hair, and it was all over his shoulders. and I love my grandfather, but yeah, he was a hairy man. And I'm not a hairy man. I mix of Irish and Italian, but Sicilian, you know how mutts get, but he sees his wife go up to the chauffeur, and this chauffeur is just, I tell you what, Nurse Frances, let me just get this out there. Diane Keaton, she's very naive. It is 1970s, so people are more open to love and the way, that flower power kind of stuff and all that. But she's like going, yeah, it's funny. We were at a bar not long ago, and some girl came up to him and rubbed her hand through his hair, and I'm like going, what the heck? Okay, But hey, Baba, what's going on? Good to see you. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me, talking about these episodes. You know what I mean? It's kind of fun. I'm having fun watching them. All of this stuff: Columbo, Kolchak, Night Gallery. How can you get any better? So he's watching his wife go up to Vic, and the window's open, everything. You would think she would know, but she's like just hugs him and kisses him. And I guess Diane Keaton saw them hugging like earlier on, so she knows, I think, something, or she's very naive. I don't know. But you see the interaction. Then you see Lila and the chauffeur Vic go up to the bedroom, and the window's there, and they're like, he closes them very slowly as she's like on top. Anyways, very, very interesting. And so the plan is, and I like, there's one other character in here, Charles the butler, who walks in very quickly and gives him his food. And when he leaves, he tells Diane Keaton's character, he says, you know what? Can you take this gun? And she was like, oh, what? Can you take this gun and can you have Vic clean it for me? It's got bullets in it. So he's letting her know it's loaded. There's bullets in it. And can you go give it to Vic? And he goes, you can surprise him, being a little romantic. You can surprise him, you being young, loving Vic. And she goes, oh, okay, he might like that. He might go for it. Ahava, shalom, good to see you. Panic Penguin, what's going on? Hi, Boy Donuts to Harry Scott. Angel started her career out as a Chicago area model. Angel was nominated for 1971 for Most Promising Newcomer for the film I Love My Wife. Thank you, Edward Stewart. Donald Duck Apple Juice, too. Yes. Good to see everybody. The Night Gallery music was scary. Yes, and the paintings. I didn't really talk about the paintings. Again, I think I want to dedicate an episode to some of the paintings. For The Room with a View, it's basically that chaotic, mistrust and denial. You can see all the chaotic emotional entanglement in the picture in the Night Gallery, and it's really pretty cool. But he gives her the gun, and she's going to go surprise Vic, and Mr. B says Vic is up in his room right now, so you can just go over there. And it's funny. It's not funny, but she walks down. You see her walking. She goes up to the room, and end scene where you hear a gun go off, and evidently she shot him. I mean, and it was like that very quickly. She shot him, and Vic was done, or she shot the other woman, Lila. Maybe she shot Lila. I don't know, but there was one shot, and he was hoping. I don't know what he was hoping. Maybe he still wanted Lila around, but Lila was still going to go do what she was going to do, right? She's using him for his money. She's a younger woman, and she's fooling around with whoever, maybe many men. So who knows? But that's how it ends. And I think for a short 10-minute story, I think it was so well put together. And Diane Keaton, fun, energetic, and the conversation between Mr. B and her were fantastic. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to say. Let me put my seat back a little bit. That's up to Bunky. I loved watching Night Gallery as a child. Autocorrect, I tell you. Tickman the keys. Welcome. And that brings us Angel, also in 1987, Amazon Women on the Moon. No, I knew what you were talking about, Bunky. I like your avatar. A very colorful, very spiritual Bunky. I feel, Bunky, that you're very spiritual. You've got a lot of spunk, Bunk-y. So welcome to the channel. And yes, Night Gallery was awesome. The butler says the gun goes off. Must be the cat backfiring. The car backfiring. Yes, Edward, sir. Francis Paul was on a few mornings ago in the coffee club. Nice. Stairpike wandering away. Haven't seen him in a while again. Hopefully he sticks around. Anyways, going on to the next episode, which is my favorite, of course. That's why it's the chunk of this episode. It's the chunk of the episode. It's probably about a little over 30 minutes, or about 30 minutes. Yeah, 30, 40, 50, about 30 minutes long. The Little Black Bag. Man, I got to tell you, Burgess Meredith is just fantastic in this. It's a time travel, kind of a little sci-fi. And then you get into present day, 1970, takes place at the very beginning, 2098, where there's this Gillings on a phone call, not a phone call. It's science fiction. It's 2098, intercom, whatever. He's going, listen, we've got a little black bag that was sent to a different time entirely. So I guess they were able to put objects or whatever, people. I mean, I would guess people could time travel, huh? But he said, went to a different time, 1970. It was sent in 1970. Don't ask me why. They really didn't say, but he said we have trouble. There's something that shouldn't have been sent because it can alter, the future, right? I mean, is that what it comes down to? WTF Hornside, the quality of writing remains hard to match, especially on TV, getting shows on. Yeah, no, listen. Well, and you got Rod Serling. Rod Serling, I mean, I can't say enough about the guy's mind and where he went. Listen, my mind is similar. My imagination is out there. It goes and it shows in some of these stories that I've been putting out, but not a lot of people listening or listening to them. Whispers in the Dark being one of them. I'm getting a little deep with Whispers in the Dark. So I don't know how many people are listening to them, but and then there's sometimes a twist ending the last minute or so. So if you listen to 98% of it, and then you miss that last bit, you're kind of missing out on the whole point of the whole story. Just like in Night Gallery, Twilight Zone, where something, this is not what it seems. But yeah. So we got Gillings. He's on it. He's going, listen, and it's that guy. Let me see if I can get who that is again. Gillings. George Firth. Everybody would know him by his hello there. It's George Firth here. He's got that distinctive voice. And I'm trying to say, he was in Blazing Saddles, Cannonball Run, Man with Two Brains, Butch Cassidy and Sundance Kid. He was in a lot of stuff you definitely would, and a lot of TV stuff, but you would definitely know who I was. Never to be forgotten just because of the way he talks. But a young George Firth here. And it's very short at the beginning because he introduces that story plot, and then we're taking ourselves right to a drunk, well, not a drunk, a bum, two bums. One bum is Dr. William Fall, who is Burgess Meredith. Man, Burgess Meredith, what an actor. What a freaking actor. Love that guy. Not just because of Rocky, but man, I loved him in everything he did. Burgess Meredith was awesome. And another guy who's going to be, I got a couple things to say about this guy. Hepplewhite. Hepplewhite is the other bum. Let me also pulling up Hepplewhite's character, Chill Wills. So I think he's an old Western type guy. Colorful character actor of American Westerns. Yes, I could have figured that out. So Hepplewhite and Burgess Meredith's character, they're both bums. And Burgess Meredith has this bottle of wine. And I'm sorry, you guys. I'm not trying to, I'm just into explaining. I think it's better this way to explain the story and the plot. And I keep looking over when I can. There were so many iconic character actors during this time. Oh, yeah. And they all played on TV because TV meant something. And I tell you what, I'm watching right now. First episode, I think, just came out. I just watched it. If you got HBO or Max or whatever that is, streaming service, if you ever followed along the True Detective stories on HBO, True Detective, the new season is out. It took a while for them to bring out a new season, but it's with Jodie Foster, and it seems like this. It takes place in like Anchorage, I think, Alaska, somewhere up there, and it's all snowy. It has the Thing feel to it. 1982's The Thing kind of feels like that, but it is off to a great start, and it's been so long since I've watched anything of substance, and I felt, oh my God, I can't wait for the next episode. That's one of them. But okay, back to Night Gallery. The Little Black Bag. Two bums in the alley. They got a bottle of wine for 89 cents. 89 cents. And it's a little bottle of wine. And they're going to celebrate. And a story takes place. Well, not yet, but he shares the bottle with Hepplewhite. And Hepplewhite starts drinking. He's going to guzzle the whole thing. And he goes like this, and it shatters half of it against the wall. And Burgess Meredith's character's pissed. He's pissed off, but Hepplewhite's a big guy. And he keeps calling it Hepplewhite. 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 For a reason. But let me see. Let me go over here. Just making sure in the chat everything's good. Make sure you guys hit that thumbs up button. Let me see how many thumbs up we got. 92 thumbs up. Thank you. We are 8 away from 100. If you haven't hit that thumbs up button, please do. Please do. You know, I also was, before I get back to it, I also was looking into starting up maybe one stream a week where I just start talking about stuff. It's kind of like a podcast, but bring up certain topics, certain shows, things like that. Not like this where it's specific, but it's an open discussion on certain topics. You know, maybe, what would I call it? Like maybe Wednesday Night Live or so. Listen, I'm always experimenting. But anyways, Hepplewhite pisses him off. Then they sit down. I do like that Burgess Meredith's character walks up to where the bottle broke on the wall, the wine, and it's all wet. He actually takes his finger and he goes to taste it. Like he's a drunk. And they get into a discussion why his name is Dr. William Fall. is because 20 years earlier, he was a doctor. He was a doctor. He was a legitimate doctor, and he got hooked on the hooch. And one day when he was, I think he said, performing an epidectomy, I think is what he said, he got fired because he was doing it under the influence. I'm like going, what the heck? You guys talk about Bruno Gallo, Petri wine. Tell your favorite wine in the thank you, Connie Clary. If you'd like to become a patron and a channel member, please click the link above. Thank you. Sweet Indigo is here. So sweet, Indigo. Good to have you here as always. So yeah, he was hooked on the hooch while he was. So he got disbarred. Whatever. He became a bum. Let me take a sip of my ginger ale real quick. Got to keep the mouth moist as you're talking. Like to incorporate just a little ASMR every now and then. Anyways, so they're talking. He got fired. So next thing you know is that was his only 89 cents left. That was his. He said that was his breakfast, lunch, dinner, and whatever for the night. That 89 cents, that bottle of wine was. Oh my God. But boy, they looked the part. They played the part well. Two bums. And I am going to talk about Hepplewhite because I don't know what the heck was going on with his character, but I don't know if they told him to act that way, but he was acting a certain way. He was acting like very odd and peculiar and weird, especially later, which I'll talk about. Did I just belch? Sorry, that's what ginger ale does. That's what you're going to get on here. Had some pizza earlier. I make my own Chef Boyardee pizza kit. It comes in a kit. It's good, very good, and lots of sauce, lots of cheese, sweeten it up. You know, pineapple, good. Throw some stuff on there. But that's what the ginger ale's for. You know what I'm saying? Give yourself some soda, some bicarbonate. Anyways, so he starts to dig because he hears cats in the garbage can. What is Dino drinking? Yes, it's ginger ale. It's ginger ale. Listen, I was a little out of it. Not out of it. I was just having too much fun with Dave the other day when we were trying to talk about Ellery Queen. I apologize. I get goofy sometimes, but that's the way I am. But me and Dave, good conversation tomorrow night with Kojak. So he goes over to garbage cans where there's cats. That was extremely spiritual, says Bunky. Thank you very much. Humanity challenged? Wait, what's going on, Bunky? Did I see something that brought up humanity challenged? What's that mean? That was extreme. Okay, anyways. Oh, maybe talking about Hepplewhite, maybe? Maybe. But yeah, he just was a bum. He seemed to talk normal, but he did some odd stuff in a later scene. And I was just looking at the screen going, what the F is this? Why is he anyways, well, let me get to it. So he gets this he's digging through the garbage looking for food, something to eat, and he comes across that black bag, that little black bag, and he opens it up and he sees some medical experimental. Wow, it looks like they've come a long way since I've been a doctor in 20 years. You know, a lot of changes have come. Ellery became a queen. That was extreme. Okay. We all love you the way. Thank you very much. Thank you. Well, listen, I'm not going to change. I'm going to be me. So yeah, Chills Wills can be seen on lots of old movies on YouTube. Yep. He's usually in those old public domain Western movies. Anyways, so he opens a bag and there's all kinds of medical equipment, science equipment and stuff like that. And it's not until he closes it and he looks at this metal tag on it where it says the year 2098, patent 2098 on it. So he's like, I don't know. He's like, this could be valuable, whatever. So the next thing they know, they decide to go pawn it at the pawn shop. Analysis: little black bag indicates how greed, arrogance, and stupidity often stifle progress in the worst way. Little black bag indicates how greed, arrogance, and stupidity often stifle progress is the worst way. Well, yes, there you go. Because even back in 1970, Rod Serling, I'm sure, had the same thoughts that we do today, because this is going to come down to the medical establishment having a cure for cancer, having cures for lots of other things. And this bag in 1920, and we'll get to it. Let's see. He goes next to the pawn shop with Hepplewhite, and Hepplewhite's by his side the entire time. He sees what he's got, and the guy offers him $8 at the pawn shop. 1970, what is that, like $30? I mean, I guess you can get a bit. Their month could be a good month, you know what I mean? But then there's this woman that comes running outside, and she looks worried. She looks worried. She does come to look in the pawn shop, and she sees Burgess Meredith's character with the bag, and she's I'm not even going to say, I don't know what you can say. She's Hispanic, I do believe. And she does speak English, and she's saying she needs help because she sees him as she runs in and says, "You're a doctor, I need you." He goes, he was a doctor a long time ago. But he looked at her in the eyes, and something got him, and he's like, I'm going to go help her. And Hepplewhite is pissed. We got $8. Come on, right here. We got $8. Let's see what happened here. Let's see. Looking at the chat real quick. Let's see. Did I get past 100 thumbs up? 95 thumbs up. We got 5 more thumbs up to 100. So Burgess Meredith's character Dr. William Fall doesn't care about the $8. He wants to go help her and her child. And he goes up into the room. He looks at the child, and her arm is bandaged and all red around there. And you could tell that the child is very sick. And he goes, strep had gotten through her blood system, and he said the infection is in her arm, and he's being a bum, and Hepplewhite is behind him, hovering over him, and he just wants to get the hell out of there and get the $8. He's like, hurry up before we don't get as much, because if you use that stuff. But then something happened to Burgess Meredith's character, Dr. William Fall, and he pulls out an instrument, and he goes to cut the wrap off, and he's like, it's almost like my hand is being guided, because I guess even though the instruments look basic to us, it's 2098, and what the actual instruments are doing, the blades or scalpels or whatever, because there's needles, there's little gadgets, and I'll get to that in a second too, because there's a neat little gadget in this that they find out what to do for every illness out there. It's pretty awesome. And you know what? It's probably stuff like that out there right now that, I know there is, and it's a shame. But anyways, so he digs back into the bag, and he finds this little thing that talks about the lymphatic infection, knowing that the strep, once infected throughout your entire system, hits your lymphatic system. But nevertheless, the doctor's bag, the little black bag, had the lymphatic infection, and the little cereal or code on there that went along with the needle in the shot that evidently would help. And he says, it says about 3 C's, that's probably what help. He shoots the whatever it is into the child, and they think the child died because she goes and rolls over. And you could still see her breathing, but Hepplewhite goes, she's dead. You're going to get accused. We're going to get accused for murder. What are we doing here? What are we doing? And he was loopy and threatening in a low-key way. I thought it worked pretty good. Marion Val was her daughter. Thank you, Edward Stewart. WTF, you talking about Hepplewhite? Hepplewhite seems he got real jealous of Dr. Fall. Well, yes, Edward, I'm getting to that. But there's more to it too. Okay, anyways, he just freaks out. He's like, and then all of a sudden the girl sits up, and all of a sudden, Dr. William Fall, I say Dr. William Fall, that's the character's name, but Burgess Meredith, he goes, he says it's a miracle, really, because he says the pulse is fine, the fever feels gone. It looks like the child was instantly healed. And the technology from 2098 probably, even now, how will things be in 2098? Who the heck knows? But where should it be now? Anyways, the child is healed and better instantly. It just takes care of you. The infection gone, everything gone. The lymphatic system is healed. And he goes, it's a miracle. It's a miracle. And Hepplewhite's kind of got this gleam in his eye, And so then they end up, leaving. And he keeps that bag. He's like, listen, he wants to be a doctor again. And he wants to help people out. And there is this struggle between the two of them, Hepplewhite and Burgess Meredith's character, the doctor, because Burgess Meredith just wants, hey, I can be a doctor again. I could heal. I can be something way more than I am now. And he's thinking in a good way. I can heal people. I can, and it's not until in a couple minutes that we're going to find out the rest of the story. But Hepplewhite is sitting there this entire time, and he's just looking and he's just looking at him. But then the next thing, they're at the mission. And he's looking through everything else that's going on in there. And he sees this little silver box. It's like it's almost like I forget what you call it, like those little ruler things, but it's a little box with all kinds of diseases and illnesses and sicknesses on it, and on both sides. And you can kind of, like, at one point he put the thing up to like tumor and cancer, and there's this straight round TV like thing that pops out of the bag. And when you put that there into those two things, it tells you exactly on the screen what to do. Cut an incision 3 centimeters deep, and using the blade that was in the bag. And listen, there's a guy named Charlie who's upstairs dying of a tumor on his neck. He's been sick, and they said he's got a week to live. And again, I love all of this. I love the feeling, everything that was going on here with the story. I think Burgess Meredith made this story. Rod Serling wrote, he had a couple other writers too. They never really pinpoint the exact creative writing that Rod Serling did for this, because there's a couple other writers, and it doesn't specify. Because, the later things went on, Rod Serling kind of put his name to a lot of things. Like, he even got credit after he passed away for writing credits for certain things and stuff like that. Mostly because a lot of his work still survived and they used it. But But nevertheless, I thought that was really neat that they had the silver gadget that you could. Then he goes rheumatoid arthritis, and it tells you exactly what to do. So any sickness, it'll tell you exactly what to do and cure it. So he does go up with the bag, and he's going to cure. He says, "I'm going to cure Charlie up there. That's my friend. They're at a mission. Bunch of old guys sitting at the table eating soup and stew." I thought it was a little comfortable little missionary there. Almost seemed like a Western kind of room, you know? Really, really cool. Let me look over here. Dino for president. Oh, Francis McCloskey. Hey. Thank you very much, my friend. The story also teaches how opportunity can be wasted when given to the wrong people, a morality tale. Well said, WTF. These are things I would have said at the end of this, but you guys be very well and put your thoughts in the chat too as well. There's a conversation here. There's a conversation there. So definitely, I agree with you 100%, WTF, that you and what Edward Stewart said, it's 100% what this story is about. And we all know that Rod Serling got political in a lot of his stories and his plots and focused on human nature and greed and all of those negative aspects of humans and life in general and which direction we're taking it. And because Burgess Meredith's character is a bum, he runs up there with Hepplewhite to take care of him. And the owner or the man in charge of this missionary, whatever, runs up with him. And he's like, "Oh my God, this drunk is going to cut and kill Charlie with a knife, with a blade." And, he brings out the knife and the dude runs. He runs out. So he's going to go get a police. He's going to go get the police. But with this instrument, he was just able to cut straight down 3 centimeters deep, and it took care of the tumor. And as he comes back with the police up the stairs, it's so funny. He looks up, and Charlie's there with Hepplewhite and Dr. William. And Charlie's like, "I feel great. I feel great. The doctor cured me. He healed me. I'm good. We're going to go downstairs now and have a cup of coffee," is what he says. And I just thought that was so cool. And I like how one guy at the table said, "That was William. He cured him. That was William. He was a doctor. He's Dr. William." Just really cool. They were all like kind of, good. And that's when he sat back at the table, and the man came up and said, "Rheumatoid arthritis, please heal me, man. It hurts. It hurts. It hurts." And then this is where we get into the weird part of the story. Exactly. He did all that and never, ever mentioned a political party by name. Yes. Custom sewing. Yes, exactly. That's the unique way that he wrote his stories. Yeah. The guy was a genius, man, when it came to story writing. So next thing you know is they're back in a room, okay, at the missionary, I presume. Hepplewhite and Burgess Meredith's character. And Burgess Meredith is talking about how he is going to go up to and give a conference or whatever to a bunch of doctors about how he can, with his scalpel, go 3 centimeters deep and cure cancer just like that. And they will be amazed, and I will be up on a pedestal. I will be the man they will be talking about and I will be able to heal people and take care of the sick and all of that good stuff. He was looking for, and the whole time, and this is what got me out of all of this, 10 out of 10 for love, the storyline. Yeah, Edward Stewart. I said 8 out of 10 at the beginning, maybe a 9 out of 10 for this episode in general. It was great. There's not a single thing I really didn't like about it, except for what Hepplewhite does next. As they're in the room and Burgess Meredith is telling him what he's going to do, in the back of him, there's a mirror in front of Burgess Meredith, but that doesn't mean anything. He sees him eventually. Like, why are you looking like that? But Hepplewhite, he's standing up and he's not looking at him like he's angry and he's going to do anything to him, but he's got his mouth. If you guys remember the episode, he's standing there with his head cocked and his mouth is wide open. I'm like, I'm almost like, what's wrong with him? Is there something wrong? Did he have, but he didn't show any signs of, like, as an actor, having a heart attack or any kind of problem or issue. But for some reason, he started acting very odd. And for that entire scene, his mouth was wide open and his head cocked. And I'm like going, what is he doing? This looks odd. It looks weird. And I don't like it. It just does not look right. And I would think that Burgess Meredith would look around immediately and go, and he does eventually, and go, what the heck is wrong with you, dude? Why is your mouth wide open like that? Why is your tongue flipped out on the floor? I don't know. It looked, I don't know if you guys remember that, but it was so weird, and I had to point that out. But anyways, continuing with that, we had that for, like, it seemed an eternity. And eventually he takes the scalpel out and he starts telling him, listen, we're in this together 50-50. You're going to make millions from this. And Burgess Meredith tried telling him, no, this is not about the money. This is far more than money. This is about, like we've all said here, this is about curing the diseases. He took a cancerous tumor out and the guy's fine. Cyberpup, number 100. Thank you very well, my sir. Thank you. 100 thumbs up. Thank you guys very much. I really appreciate that. That's pretty cool. Okay. Anyways, rounding out this out and getting to the next story, Hepplewhite comes at him. We are going to share this 50-50. I thought he's going to kill him. Burgess Meredith's character had a blade. What happened? They don't show that scene. If there's anything that took a half point off of this, it's that they didn't show what happened. Because the next thing we're with a bunch of doctors in a room, and they're like, this Dr. William Fall is going to come in and tell us this. We don't know who he is, but he's going to tell us how to cure cancer and all this other stuff. And Hepplewhite comes in with a nice new suit on and starts to present to all the doctors. And I want to make sure I get the exact quote. Yeah, I put, why is he opening his mouth? Oh my gosh. Okay, that's the next one. They said something. He wants to cut open it. Okay, it doesn't matter. So he gets up there and starts to present like Burgess Meredith's character was going to do. And he says, what would you guys think if I went 3 centimeters in deep and, all of that stuff. And he's going to basically cut his neck, and the knife's not going to do nothing because of 2098. It's scientifically, it's not going to kill him. It's going to technically heal the area. Anyways. So he gets up and he does it. And the next thing you do is you see there's 2 things going on. As that happens, we're shot back to Gillings in 2098 in the future. And he goes, up, something happens. A death happened because the red beeper is going off. Why they didn't just incinerate the big bag to begin with, I don't know. But I guess once that happens and there's a death in the past from the future, they incinerate the bag or whatever. They didn't incinerate the bag, they incinerated what was in the bag. But the doctors come out and they go, wow, the dude just wanted to commit, kill himself, then whatever, you know what I mean? But what a way to go. I don't know. And the guy goes, no, it looked like he was serious and he really thought he was going to do what he was going to do. But at the last moment, the instruments became ineffective because of 2098. They took away the power and they incinerated everything that was in there. And they give the bag to the one kid that came out, maybe a nurse or whatever. And they said, just incinerate it. And he opens it up and you can see that everything inside was incinerated. And that's basically the end of it. So he's gone. So yes, about greed, all of that stuff, yeah, it's a story. It's a good one. Burgess Meredith made that story awesome. I really, really dug it. This next one, really, really interesting. Really interesting. It's a very short one, like 10 minutes. Again, like I said, bookend with short stories. This one has only one main character in there named Sims, really. Let's see. Brian Kirkham gifted 10 late horror show memberships. Brian Kirkham, thank you very much, my friend. The people gifted WTF Horror and Sci-Fi, William Cromer, Goyne and Tor, Bob Spanier, Perpetual Herd, Chad Farr, Robert Krober Jr., Professor Strangefinger, James P., Dylan, German, and WTF Horror and Sci-Fi. Wait, how did you get it twice? Oh, no, you said, I was looking at the last one. You said thank Brian Kirkham, dude. Thank you, my friend. I really appreciate that. That is so cool of you. Really appreciate it, bud. Thank you. What more can I say? And again, this is by Ed Stewart. Sent this to me. I just love that mask, light up mask. It's so cool. Thank you, Brian Kirkham. So last story. Last story is The Nature of the Enemy. The Nature of the Enemy. It's a space episode, a sci-fi episode in space. They start off at Space Command. Sims is like, evidently, a couple days ago, they sent 2 rocket ships to the lunar surface, to the moon. Let me take a sip. Thank you. Edward Stewart, don't give nothing away. I like to give it away. Let me give it away. So 2 rocket ships were sent to the moon. One crashed and the other one just vanished. Sims says, as the one that crashed, they were speaking right afterwards. But where are they? Because they send a rescue crew there 2 days later to see what happened. So 1970, right? We were sending ships to the moon like crazy. We haven't done it since. We'll be getting into those topics in the paranormal into the night. You deserve it, Dino. You are our hardest working guy on YouTube, and I love you. Thank you, Brian Kirkham. I appreciate those words very much. And there was a funny scene where they were trying to direction-wise as at Space Command, where there's an image on the screen of the astronaut on the rescue mission looking at a camera that evidently they set up on a tripod so that they can beam back, footage. And he goes, hold on, let me go. And I like how he was talking slow. It's like, you don't need to talk slow. You can move slow because gravity is low, but everybody was going, hold on, let me go move the camera. It was just like, I'm like, you don't need to talk slow. That's not what's going to happen. Movement's a little different because of the weight of the suit. Although their suit, very interesting spacesuit there. Pretty good, pretty good. I do. The gloves were like thin latex, but the spacesuit itself looked good. The back portion of the spacesuit, lots of aluminum, looked like, but it was cool overall. But I'm like going, how is he walking to a camera and then they show a camera shot of the camera on the tripod being moved by him and set back down. But then when he walks back, you notice that there's a handheld camera in his hand. So I'm like, was he doing this type of thing? Anyways, the things I think of, but I'm like going, how's that being? But he did have a camera in his hand. So, however, I don't know if I've seen a cord or not, but anyways, it doesn't really matter. So they're beaming that back, and so that's what's going on. And Sims is trying to get to the point because he says, I don't see anybody. It's the scans have said there's no life forms on the moon. I don't see anybody on the moon, but there's debris here, USA Lunar. You can see part of the rocket ship on the lunar surface. There's no sign of anyone. But yeah, and then they're then Sims is confronted with, I mean, this is short. Then Sims is kind of confronted with the media, and they're saying what's going on. And it said they were attacked. Could it be, again, Cold War stuff? Could it be the Russians? Could it be Chinese? Could it be this? Back then it's like the Cold War. So, it's like, okay. And he's like, no, I don't. It sounded like attacked. He's trying to cover his steps. Sounded like attack, but it wasn't really. And let me see. Let me go back to the stream again. Okay. Just making sure. Because Restream don't show everything. Like if a super chat shows up, that'll show up, but gifting won't show up, kind of. That's why I pop back and forth sometimes. But yeah, so he's just throwing off the reporters and everything, like nothing's going on here. We're figuring things out. And as they're back in the command center, Houston, the one guy comes up and he says, there's a transmission. And the astronaut's up on the screen again. And you get, he must have the camera back a good position because he's found something. He says, there's some, I'm hiccuping. Man, ginger ale time. And quiet. So he says there's some kind of platform, it looks like. Some weird platform. So evidently the ones that aren't there no more, they built this no, I have no idea. Well, I do have an idea, but nobody's around, and there's this platform, and you don't really see the whole platform. They're showing parts of it and stuff like that. And then, okay, so that happens, and then as the guy that's the astronaut is looking at this platform, he goes, what does he says? He goes, oh no, it just can't be. Oh no, and so something you said, you're looking, you go, something attacked him. What could it be? I don't know. Something attacked them or something happened. They don't specify that either, and I'll talk about that in a second. But then we quickly, stuff is happening at the command center again and stuff like that. And then they get another signal. They said, there's a signal. There's another signal. And up on the screen, you see the platform, which isn't a platform. I'll tell you what that is in a minute. And then you see a giant rat on the surface of the moon, a giant albino white rat moving around on the moon. And the platform or object was, the one guy goes, it looks like a mouse trap. a rat trap, mouse trap, whatever. It looks like a mouse trap. So we're led to believe that somehow maybe in the space race, putting rats up in space, we've done that on rocket ships and stuff like that. Maybe one got landed on, maybe they sent one to the moon, maybe one got out, they could survive the atmosphere. The pressure made them giants. I mean, listen, I don't know, I'm speculating, but when that astronaut was by that platform, that mousetrap, and he said, "Oh no, it just can't be." Was it the mousetrap closing on him? Because I most certainly didn't see blood. Or did the rats go up and clean up afterwards? Was it a rat that came up and killed him, the astronaut? And maybe the astronauts who crash landed 2 days earlier built a giant mouse trap or rat trap to get the rat. You know what I mean? So I think that's what happened. I think the crew that crash landed saw these giant rats were on the moon, and they decided to take the supplies that they were given to build they were going to set up camp up on the moon so that they could build a civilization and live up on the moon, which would be great, right? It would be great to do that. Why haven't we done that yet? Are there buildings on the moon? Miles high glass structures? We've been told there are. But anyways, yeah. So I mean, that's it. So what are we to get out of that story? I mean, the rat had some human. A lovely pun episode. Yeah, I think that's basically it. WTF. Well said. Listen, WTF. There you go. I was trying to dive deep into Ben and Willard, Edward Stewart. I was trying to dig into the mind of Rod Serling. Like, what point was he trying to make? Was there a message behind the Cold War? There was some little digs. Was there a message about the space race? Getting to the moon or out there or whatever? If we did, people say we didn't. Questions. So what was it? But I think in the end, maybe that one was just a lovely pun episode. Well said, WTF. I think you are 100% correct, sir. I think that's exactly what it is. So yeah. So there you go. That's all 3 episodes in this season 1, episode 2 of Night Gallery. Very well done. Very well done. Even the last one that was a little cheesy. I enjoyed it immensely. I think doing it that way, like kind of the half hour in the middle and then a couple short ones at the end, I think that's perfect. Like you can throw off a couple of quick stories, and not deal with all there's character development and everything, but you get it really quick and it's just well done. You know what I mean? So hats off to this episode. Very, very good. Very good. Again, you can't go wrong with Night Gallery. Definitely a different story. They gave it a low rating, but pretty awesome, 7 out of 10. Okay. Well, again, the last story in the episode, not as good as that the little black bag. That's the story, but the first one and the last, great short stories. I loved it. But that's it for episode 2 of Night Gallery. Next week I will. Let's see. I think I'll do another one next week. I think I want to keep going in order, but I'd like to change it up. I don't know. I'm going to keep going with the Night Galleries. I'm in the mood for it. Humans stew at least once a month when something upsets me. Sorry, couldn't resist. Richard Van Fleet as the astronaut. Yes. Again, even one of the media people was somebody you would have recognized on in older movies or even TV, up and coming TV. I don't think he had a credited role in it. It was the one media guy that was asking the questions. And I'm trying to look at if he was even mentioned. I do not believe the pawnbroker was IMDb, but not that guy. But yes, the next episode is going to be The House, Certain Shadows on the Wall. Oh, that sounds like a good one. Sounds like a spooky one. That gets a 6.8 on IMDb. This one got a 7.1. I think it deserved an 8, but 7.1 is pretty good. I mean, come on. Not bad at all. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Listen, everybody, tomorrow night, me and Dave Plouffe, Bad Medicine, talking some more Kolchak. And then the following week, I just posted it earlier today. Very cool thumbnail. Looks a little bit different. And I did all that. I thought it was very, very cool how I reversed everything on the page. I mean, on the thumbnail artwork to make reverse speech. And then it's reversed on this side. And I got Art Bell reversed. I got two different. It looks really cool. So don't overlook it. Give it a thumbs up. Everything that's upcoming, please. That would be awesome. And we're going to talk Remembering Art Bell. And it's the John Oates episode where he talked about reverse speech. He really thought he was onto something. And you can look up reverse speech where they get like certain things out of turning the speech backwards. Like, we'll talk about it. I'll save that for sure. Laura, Southern Coke drinker, good to see you. Yes, Joseph Campanella as NASA scientist. You would know him from many, many things. Thank you again, Brian Kirkham, for all of the gifted memberships. I really do appreciate that. That is awesome. And Edward, for all of the info that you do and put up on the stream in the chat. That is awesome too. But yeah, I really enjoyed hanging out with you guys today. Looking forward to tomorrow with Dave. Overnight tonight, a nice, good, clean mix of detective shows. So, you know, you can never go wrong. I can listen to those every night. I can listen to Richard Diamond every single night. I can listen to, I was going to say Johnny Dollar every night, but you know what? Sometimes Johnny Dollar gets on my nerves. I don't know. I like Richard Diamond, Sherlock Holmes, Broadway is my beat. I mean, those are Night Beat's good too. Not as many episodes. There's a lot of Broadway is my beat. A lot of Boston Blackie. Love Boston Blackie. A lot of people hate the organ at the beginning and inside, but I mean, come on. A minute of organ music for a great story. Boston Blackie, Chester Morris. Come on. Adam for Christ, thank you for the stream. Interesting discussion. Thank you, Adam for Christ. CM, everybody, thank you, WTF. Yes, rest in peace, RTN. Hi, boy donuts to you, RTN. Dennis, much love, my friend. Yeah, Broadway is my beat. Has quickly become one of my favorites. That and Richard Diamond. I mean, listen, we all like different things. And Sherlock Holmes, Basil Rathbone, Nigel Bruce, always will be my favorite. But I'm quickly coming to love Broadway is my beat as like the top. And Richard Diamond as the top. Listen, I love that he gets knocked out and conked on his head. You know what I mean? Sam Spade's good too, but there's not as many surviving episodes. So can't play those over and over and over again. Wouldn't want you guys getting sick and tired of it. But, you know, Rocky Jordan's pretty dang good. I mean, I've been introducing, you know, Mr. Chameleon, which, you know, not a lot of people, you know, put that high up on it, but it's a very great show, you know, even through a couple gangbusters in which I'll always remember Dennis, RTN Productions, for talking about gangbusters. He goes, you'll never get to sleep tonight with gangbusters because it starts off with the machine gun. But I only got 2 episodes in, I think one towards the beginning and one at the end. So you'll be able to sleep in the middle. I make sure I spread that out so that you're not sleeping when that comes on. So, but RTN would always throw that at me and it was kind of funny. Funny stuff. Anyways, again, thank you guys very much. Please leave a comment. Think of joining the channel, support the show. Lots of cool stuff in the future. So with that said, Rocky Jordan is great. Dino is speaking my language tonight. Yeah, Rocky Jordan. Yeah. I think Rocky Jordan is another one that people really don't talk about or put up on the list. Really, Rocky Jordan is great. Anyways, I will see you guys. And Suspense. Suspense had a lot of detective shows. They were known for their suspense, but they even had a Sam Spade episode. They incorporated a lot of detective. Yeah, I mean, there's lots of, I mean, suspense. There's a lot of them. Anyways, I'll keep talking if I keep going on. So Rocky Jordan number 3 all night needs to happen, Dino. I'm trying to think. I'll look into it, Brian. Look at my my collection